Hello, how do you build your food supply on a budget? Well, I'm just going to share how we do it to keep our grocery budget low, even though prices are going up at the grocery store. We have $300 budget for our groceries for a month for our family of 5. And today is September 24th, 2022, and my husband did our grocery purchases. So I'm just going to go through things and talk with you. So we usually took grocery budget out as a cash, and that's the best way for me to keep my grocery budget as a fixed expense. Groceries is a variable expense, but you can keep it as a fixed expense if you take cash out. So that way I won't have to go through our checking account to track purchases, to see what is groceries and what is not. So first, even though we took $300 out for groceries, I didn't want to spend the whole amount. And how do we break down our grocery budget? Within that $300, I like to dedicate $150 for staples, grocery staples, $60 for fruits, so that I can make sure we are buying enough fruit for our children, and then $90 for meat. So that's how that $300 is broken down. And I like to use envelope. It's just simple envelope, and I will just put me or my husband will just put a note on it. So that's fruits, food, and then we should have one for meat. So anything that I have left in the envelope, I have another bigger envelope that I like to keep those in. That way I can save up the grocery money month after month to stock up. So that's how you can stock up and build your food supply on budget. When things goes on sale, you do not go over your budget by spending money out of your checking account. You spend up to your grocery budget every month, even if you are stocking up. That's the ideal way of doing it. Otherwise, some month you might go way over your budget because you found a lot of sale items and purchase a lot, and some other month you might be less, but a lot of time you'll always see something on sale that you want to purchase and stock up. So I just come up with that idea that if I want to stock up, I still need to do that within my $300. It used to be $375, and I changed it to $300 a month in 2020, and just kept it like that. So that was the list that I started with one of my kids, pretty much to help them understand that to go shopping you have to have a list with you. So they start writing, and then I finish it up. And with this I have a template that I like to work with. Pretty much I just list down things that I know I buy on a regular basis, and I just keep adding it to it as I remember something. And then I just put in the plastic sheet, and I have it in the kitchen. So to do the list, the grocery list during the month, if I feel like I run out of something and might forget, I'll just grab a paper and write it on it, and then leave it in the drawer until I'm ready to add more to it. So that's one thing. The second thing is, when we are ready to do the shopping, I don't like to spend the full $300 up front. So I know that I have $150 to work with for the grocery staples. I like to ideally spend about $100. That way, if I forgot something or I ran out of something during the month, I have enough to purchase. Or if something goes on sale, I'll be able to stock up. But when I was writing this list, depending on what I put on the list, I know that $100 won't work. So I put $140 there for my husband to know that I didn't really want to go over that. So if he didn't have enough, he just have to see what he won't have to buy. And later I remember other things, and I add a few more on a paper for him because he took this list when I wanted to add more to it. And the reason why I have those two items and later I cross out that bacon, because the kids start school. The past 2 years they study at home, they start school, and I pretty much, they take their lunch to school. So we have those containers that they washed yesterday, Friday. Today is Saturday, September 24th. So they wash those containers, and I'm just trying to air dry them completely so that I can put them away. And I dedicated a specific drawer for those, and they will pretty much go in the drawer there. That way, anything lunch and drinking container for them, they are all in one spot, easy to find. So they don't like to have cereal in the morning that often, and I cook porridge for them with cornmeal, grits, or oatmeal, oat groat, or silka oat. So I make porridge for them, but they don't like porridge day after day. So I was thinking about having, baked bread, not bread that I will make myself, but purchase bread on sale that I put in the freezer. In the morning I can bake it in the oven, make scrambled egg and bacon, but then I cross the bacon out because it'll cost me as much as to buy bacon that to buy another dozen of eggs. So I told my husband not to buy the bacon, that way I can get more eggs. I can have scrambled eggs and bread. That way they can have that breakfast some days of the week as well, to just mix it up. So they start school, and I start having some challenges, trying to figure out different things I need to purchase, and have different, for things they are going to take to school. So how do we do the kids' lunch? They take their own lunch to school, but pretty much they are just the leftovers. So when I'm cooking dinner at night, I cook every day, but I cook dinner. So when I'm cooking dinner, I purposely cook more than we need for that night. And when I'm serving, a lot of the time the first things I will serve will be what they will take to school. So I used to serve individual portion for each one of them in glass bowl and put in the fridge. And in the morning, it will be warmed up by my husband and put in their lunch containers that you serve on the table or the counter. But for them not to have to do dishes, because we do dishes by hand, I decided to just use a bigger glass bowl to have the food in and put in the fridge. That way in the morning, I'll put in the oven at 200 degrees for some hours. By the time they are ready for my husband to serve them their lunch, it will be ready. So I will serve the next day school lunch out of the dinner meal, put in the fridge, and then I will serve all of us. So that's how I do it. But now I need to come up with snack, because they have snack time at school. And so in the list, I asked my husband to use $20. The milk is not included, but to use $20 for snack. So we are going to go through the snacks, and I have tried already with some snacks, and there are some that they didn't care for. Like we purchased honey pretzels and salted pretzels and animal crackers and vanilla wafers. I have some graham crackers as well that we tried, and I noticed that the youngest one doesn't care for pretzels, sweet or salted. So I told my husband not to bother getting them. So we got, and those will be their school snack. So when they're at home, like off days or weekend or holidays, I do not serve them snacks of this type. A lot of times they'll just ask for fruits because that's what they are used to. So we have those snacks. We have the popcorn that I can just pop and put in bag, and I asked my husband to buy snack sandwich bag, the one without the zipper. I have tried, it's working, but I think they have been struggling with closing it properly. So I asked my husband to buy snack bag, the zippered one. I'm going to try it, but my goal is to sew dry snack cloth bags for them. I sew few already, I need to sew more, but until then it is easier for me to use the plastic one. In the past, before 2020, I used to serve them snacks in 1 cup glass bowl. But because they have not gone to school for the past 2 years, they have not gone into that habit. Those are 1 cups. They can just have the snacks, it goes in their bags, and then they have their 2 cups lunch stainless steel for the warm food. So the way I do it is I will boil water in the morning, put it in it and close it. By the time my husband is ready to put food in it, the container will absorb the heat from the water instead of absorbing it from the food. That way it will keep the food warm longer. If I'm going to serve them salad, which is a cold food, then I'll fill it up with ice and water for hours before my husband will dump that and put the cold salad in it for them. And then I will serve them the snack in this. But I have noticed that to wash dishes, the youngest one, it just takes them too long. So to simplify their washing time, I stopped using the glass bowl this time and just replace it with the plastic zipper bag until I sew grocery bag for their snacks. That way when they come, they will just put it on the counter for me to take it to the basement until I have enough, and the end of the weekend I will just wash them. So we have cloth napkin here that they take long to put their spoon in, and there are napkins that we sell at nenasoap.com, and those are the Muslim bag that are sold for popcorn. Because there are 3 kids, I have 3 here, but I need to sew more and have dry snack bags. So the bags for the snack is going to be smaller, but we might have bigger one for popcorn, for instance. That way, those are 2 layers. That way they can have the dry snack in reusable bags. And Friday I will just wash them in hot water with the cloth napkins that they use, because they use them once excuse me, and I store them in the basement until I wash them, rinse them in cold water and wash them in hot water. But I need to sew more because there are 3 kids and 5 days of the week, so I need like 15 of those snacks bags, cloth bags. And this is lined as well. They are made out of muslin, fabric. So pretty much we just, we just have pretty much, it's just we repurpose our drawers. Here I stock up when chocolate chips is on sale. I stock up on that, and we use it for pancake and for chocolate chips cookie. So yeah, that's the goal, having cloth bags. But until then, I will use the plastic bags for them, so that they won't have to do a lot of dishes. They wash their drinking cups, and then they have their lunch bag, their lunch containers, so the snack can go in a plastic bag for the moment. So we do have the graham cracker, the wafer, and the goal is I want to try if $20 out of my budget will be able to buy snacks for the kids for school. So, and I asked for 2 because I have one of them went to field trip, and I didn't want him to have wet food for lunch. So I served him to eat like a heavy meal in the morning, and then I made popcorn that I served them, all of them, that day for lunch. So after they came back, I asked them if they were hungry, after eating the popcorn for lunch, and they said no. So they are going to have popcorn as lunch someday. So I think that will be days that they don't have to do a lot of dishes when they are back from school. So I ordered 2 of those. And this is the snack bag. Those are small bags but with zip. So 200 in net, and I don't think we have all the snack products out. We have animal cracker. I like this because it's not too sweet. And we have the chocolate version of it. So I think my husband spent pretty much $20 on those items. So you can see that if you are buying, I would just say processed food. By processed, I just mean things that has been made for you already. It tends to cost more. So when you are on a budget, you have to be mindful of things that you are trying to buy. So I think buying this popcorn will be a lot more cost effective compared to if I was buying the one you put in the microwave. I think those tend to be a little bit too buttery for my life. So that is $20, and I think this didn't come out of that $20. He purchased it with the other groceries, but he spent $20 to purchase those snacks for the kids. So, and a good thing about this bag is with this one, if one day I'm serving them snack, I have a few minutes extra, I could serve the following day snacks as well. Have 1 gallon zipper bag, put them in it, or we have a crate for snacks, I can put it in it. So pretty much a little by little, serve few more days than just every single day serve for that day. That way I will have few days of snack prep, and if one day I don't have a lot of time to serve them snack, I can just speak from what I did, and I have that already in the pantry that I've tried last week. Alternatively, if you are using the sandwich bag that does not have the zipper, you can use the 1 gallon zipper bag, freezer bag. And if you have that one, that's how I did it. I used the sandwich bag that didn't have the zipper, and I've served the snacks in it, roll it, and just put it in the zipper, 1 gallon zipper bag, and seal it and put it away. That way I can just take out of it and serve them. You can also use the quart bag as well. Because I have different type of snacks, I use the quart bag that has the zipper, the freezer bag, quart one. Fill the snack bag and just stuff it in the quart bag, so that I have the wafer snacks separately in a bag, and I have this one separately in another bag, and vice versa. That way when I grab a bag, I only have one type of snack in it. So that's, you can just see what works for you. So those are the snacks. So on our list, there is something I like to buy pretty much every single month, and I do not use all of it. So when I don't use all of it, it just allows me to build up my stock a little by little. And they are the flowers. So we have bleach all-purpose flour. It used to be $1 something for the 5 pound. Now it's $2 something now. So it went up, and that's how price is going up at the grocery store. So I like to have about 9 to 10 on my grocery list. And sometimes my husband won't find it, they will be out of it. But I like to have my stock because we make a lot of things, we cook from scratch. If you're on tight budget, you wanted to keep your grocery budget low, it might be a good idea to cook some stuff from scratch. So with the flour, if you have natural yeast, by natural yeast, let me turn a little bit for you to see it. By natural yeast, I'm talking about sourdough starter. So if you have sourdough starter, you can make your own pizza. So during the weekend, because it can take me some time to make pizza, I like to make pizza over the weekend. The kids like to eat pizza, so I make that over the weekend. And a lot of time when I'm doing recording about cooking over the weekend, you'll be seeing pizza in the video. Does not mean that that's all we eat every day, but it's because that's what I make for lunch on weekends. So when you have your own sourdough starter, you can make your own sourdough bread, you can make your own sourdough pizza. So having flour on hand will allow you to make those to cook those items. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we have pizza rising there the second time, and pretty soon I'll turn the oven on to start baking them. And we have 4 pans there. The leftover will go in the fridge and will be breakfast material for the kids during the week. So I like to have enough flour on hand for those meals that I cook from scratch. So I like to keep them in the bag so that they do not make mess in the pantry. And the extra bags we can recycle it by pretty much making trash. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we just make trash bag out of them and tie them and put them in the trash bag, a trash container that goes outside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay, 4, 6. Pretty much we have 10 of the flowers. So now that is one spice that I like to buy, because we grow our own vegetables and spices. I do not buy spices other than chili pepper, because I do not grow chili in my garden. And I use chili quite a bit in my cooking and eating. So we got the chili. And we got cornmeal. With cornmeal, I can make cornmeal porridge for breakfast, and I can make cornbread as well. And when I make cornbread, a lot of time it is the meal, because it has egg, it has milk in it. So when I'm making dinner and it's just cornbread, I don't make anything else to go with it. And I think to avoid that, I have some crumbs out. I'll keep it in the bag as well. Sugar is the next one. I do not buy sugar on a monthly basis, but I like to stock up on sugar. So when I open one bag, we have icing bucket that we got from the grocery store, wash, and I use for sugar. When I open one bag of sugar, I like to have another one that I didn't open in stock. So this one is 10 pounds, and I opened the last one that I have. Therefore, I add it to my grocery list. With $300, for instance, it is not a big budget. Therefore, it's not everything on my grocery list that I will buy every month. So there are things I will not add to the grocery list, and there are things that I will add to the list depending on what I need to purchase. From the list that I showed you earlier, I cannot purchase all of this every single month using $300. In fact, $300 has $90 for meat and $60 for fruit. Meat and fruit are not listed here. Those are mainly the grocery staples. So, and they are reserved $150. So I cannot spend $150 and purchase every single one of those items a month. Therefore, I have to see what I need to buy a month, and the following month what I will buy. And pretty much when I'm purchasing things, I'll go through my pantry to see what I'm low of, and I will purchase those. So if you want to do that, it'll be a good idea not to have multiple brands of one thing. That way you can keep your grocery staple small, especially if you do not have a wide area for your pantry. That way it is easy for you to go through your things to see what you are low on, if you have to choose something over the other. Alternatively, when I'm cooking and I notice that I'm low on something, I try to memorize that or take note of it on a paper so that I know that it needs to go on the list. So that's how I know that I need to buy sugar this month, because I already opened one and I want to have sugar on hand, because I cook porridge for breakfast for the children, and I drink porridge in the morning as well. So yes, I do not purchase every single one of things on this list, but there are things that every single month I purchase. Flour is one of them, and I like to purchase oil as well so that I can stock up on it, because we do fry times to times and we use our oil. And when you are frying, you'll go through your oil very quickly. Another thing that I purchase often, almost every single month, is the tomato puree, because we make our own pizza sauce and our own pasta sauce. And that's the only tomato. I do not grow tomato in my garden. Pretty much grow perennials, vegetables, and perennial spices. So tomato is annual and I do not grow in my garden, but I like to purchase tomato puree, and 29 ounces is this one. And the reason why I like this one over, I'm very surprised, they add citric acid. I don't think it used to have citric acid in it, but it has tomato and citric acid. I don't think they pass the other variety has citric acid. I have to check, but yeah, it has very low. I don't like product with a lot of ingredient in them, so that's why I like the tomato puree, and I can just make my own sauces using that, and it is less expensive. It used to be 82 cents, but today when my husband purchased them, it was like $1 something, he said. Jason, do you remember the tomato puree price?
It was $1.36.
Yes, you are right. $1.36. So yeah, $1.36 from 82 cents. And I just like to purchase stock of them and have them on hand. So if I don't finish up all of them in 1 month, I purchase again, I add it to it, and little by little I will stock up. So one way to know how many you need in a month is just ask yourself, how many do you need a week? So if you make sauces a week and you need one a week, then that's just 4 a month. That's one way to do it. But then if you can purchase more than 4, you do that. You purchase 6, for instance. If you end up using 5, you have 1 left. If you end up using 3, then you have 3 left for the month. So we make purchases. We took money out for August month, sometimes mid-August. And these purchases supposed to be for September purchases. We took the grocery money out mid-September, but we didn't really use it to purchase anything. We kept using money from August grocery to purchasing weekly that we need, without touching the $300 that we took out for September purchases, until it's almost end of September, September 24, and we went and did the grocery that we should have done at the beginning of September. So he took $140, and I think he has about $5 left, but he wants to purchase cereals for himself. So pretty much with $140, we use it all on our groceries. So we have the milk. We got 2 gallons of milk, because I'm thinking about, we use it for sheet pancake, chocolate chips that you saw earlier, sheet pancake. So, and I'm thinking that sometimes I might make pancake for breakfast for the kids, just for them to have different type of breakfast. But sheet pancake is just pancake that I mix up, but I put it in the oven to bake it, so that I have a big batch at once instead of doing it one by one on the stove. So, and that's why I like to stock up on chocolate chips at the end of the year and have enough for the year. So they're like $1 when they goes on sale, and I just stock up for the entire year. That's what you saw on that drawer. And we use milk for that. So, and that's something sometimes you eat for dinner, and it has egg, it has milk, it has flour, So you have the carb, you have the protein, and then you have the milk, which has protein. You just don't have the vegetables. And I serve that for meal some night as well. And I don't serve anything to go with it. So I was thinking that some morning they might have sheep and cake for breakfast, and we needed to have the milk on hand. So when the milk is about to expire, I will ferment it with kefir culture, which I have in the fridge. So we have that. And out of the groceries, I asked for some vegetables. So we got corn. In winter, we do not have greens in our garden. Sundays, usually I bake sourdough bread and I have a salad for dinner. And we'll just harvest the green from the garden to make the salad. But winter time, we won't have access to those fresh greens. Therefore, with that bread and the meat that I will cook, I might have corn, sweet corn, like cook it with sugar and water to serve along with it. Or I might serve peas to go along with it. So little by little, I'm trying to stock up on those. And sometimes I cook peas as well. Like I will cook it with tomato. I'm not going to go too much in detail how I cook that. And then I will serve baked bread. When bread is on sale, those French bread that cost $1, when they are a few cents on sale, or a few cents less, like they are like 80 cents each, I just put them in the freezer, and when I take them out, I can bake them to serve with my pea dish. So that's another meal I can make out of those. So little by little, I'm stocking up on those greens that I do not grow, and this will go in the freezer. And I think we got more of the peas as well. I have a freezer just for vegetables, a freezer just for meat, and a freezer for processed food like ice cream. If you want to stock up on food, I would suggest, if you can, to get a freezer at least to start with one. That way you'll be able to keep your frozen items in the freezer. That is not the freezer that you open every day. So we have the peas, we have the corn, and I got a red cabbage, but I'm going to use it tomorrow probably. But when I purchase vegetables like this, I don't like to keep it in the fridge. I will wash it or rinse it, chop it up, and if I'm going to use some of it, I will have it in a bowl and put it in the fridge, and the remaining one I'll put it in the freezer bag and put it in the freezer. That way in winter time, when I want to use it, I'll just open the bag, take some out, and put it in my cooking without having to prep anything. So my vegetables are prepped from the moment I harvest them from the garden or purchase them. I will prep them and put them in the freezer bag and put them in the freezer. So that's how I prep my food. I do not mix raw food like meat and sauce and put in the freezer. I like to prep my vegetables and have them in the freezer. That way I won't waste it, and they are really saving me time from prepping them when I'm ready to cook. They are ready for me to use. The downside of that is you won't have fresh vegetable to make salad and eat raw because they are frozen. You have to cook it. But again, keeping this in the fridge for a long period of time will lose a lot of nutrient as well, because those, from the moment they are harvested, I think they tend to lose some of their nutrient. That's the beauty of growing your own food on your property, because you just go out and harvest when you need them, and when they are ready to be harvested, you harvest, you prep, you freeze them right away. But for things you do not grow, it might save you time if you prep them at the same time you purchase them, so that you are done with them. You are not going to forget them in your fridge crisper and pretty much waste them when they go moldy. So we have the cabbage that I will work on. On my list, I have cheese. Because we make pizza on a weekly basis, I like to buy cheese, and having the block cheese costs less than having the shredded one. But the shredded one can go on sale. The one thing I don't like about the shredded one is you can see some cellulose. There are additional ingredients that are added to it to keep it from clumping, and I do not like those excessive ingredient in the food. So I just like to go with mozzarella because it does not have coloring in it. There are some cheese that are colored, and this one does not have coloring in it. It's a soft cheese, and that's just the mild cheese that I like. So when I'm slicing it to shred it, I will just use a grater and grate it. But a lot of time we eat 1/3 of it. Usually that's the one time that I serve cheese as a snack to the kid. Like, I'm out of the shredded one. If I start cutting this into pieces to shred, they'll come asking me to eat some cheese. So it just become a habit. I will cut about 1/3, cut it in pieces so that I can give it to them to eat. Other than that, I like to keep the breast for pizza, and I like to shred them that way. For a month, I won't have to shred cheese every time I'm baking pizza. They are already shredded in a freezer bag. I just scoop some and use. So we have those, and they can cost quite a bit as well, but they are still, I think they are cheaper than buying the shredded. But the shredded one tends to be fine, and you can use just a little bit of that, versus this one you shred it yourself, especially with a grater. They can be in bigger pieces, and if you are not careful, you can use more. So we have the milk. We went through the milk already. Out of my 150 that my husband took 140, I have $10 left in the envelope. So out of that 140, we purchased washing soda. So washing soda is something we use to do laundry. For the past few years, it has been at least 5 years or a little bit less. I've been using washing soda and borax to do laundry. I have noticed that they wash things properly, but I don't know how I will explain it. It does not. The inside of some garment doesn't get cleaned properly, especially polyester products. So when kids start school, and I didn't really have an issue with that because the kids, I keep their wardrobe very minimal. Very minimal, and like in the past when I do their laundry, it's so hard for them to put things away. Like for them to put their things in their cupboard, in their containers. The container was too full for them to even put things in it. So what I did is, when school is about to start, I'll go to they have, even though they have closets with things to hang, they have containers for school clothing, they have containers for home clothing. So they have 2 containers, each one of them. So I'll go to the school container to get the school clothing they wore during the year, and move it to the home clothing container. And I will take the home clothing container and see what will go to thrift store, what I will cut down to pieces to turn into rugs to use at home. And then I will make purchases for the school container. So every year they have new outfit for school for school, and I will purchase 5 outfits. Our 5 top, yeah, I think a lot of time is 5 outfits, like jean, pants and shorts, and then the top. So, and sometimes I might even do just 3. That way I know I'm going to do laundry like twice a week. It's going to be light laundry, and I'll just wash all the clothes together and then they'll pour it away. So this year I used the same principle. Even though they have been at home for 2 years, they didn't have school clothing, so I got rid of what was in their home clothing that they outgrew or not in good condition. I took those out and purchased new products. Because we have apparel business, there are some apparels that I purchased private label from China. We have some, so we just purchase some from ourselves, and we have print on demand business, so we just put our own design on shirts for them, so and make those purchases. But then we purchase some other things from Walmart, for instance, for them. So but then I keep that in mind to have 5 outfits for them. Some went a little over, and then we have outfits for home as well. But the reason why I'm talking about that is I didn't have a problem using washing soda and borax to do their laundry before, because I know that their school clothing, they are just going to use it for 1 year, and after that it will become home clothing. So even if it becomes dull color, I was fine with it. So this year I wanted to see if there'll be a different result by using natural laundry detergent. So I'm using the washing soda, and I'm using a natural detergent as well. Angelique, will you please give me do you know the liquid soap that I put in the machine last time you did laundry? Will you bring me that, please? So I purchased a natural detergent to try to see if we will not have a reaction to it, and if that will clean any better than washing soda and borax. Other than that, washing soda and borax wash my towels just fine, wash clothing just fine. If you have, color stain or sweat stain you want to remove, when you use natural soap, you rub it, or bar soap, you rub it on that area before you put it in the machine, and use washing soda and borax to wash, or just washing soda. So at some point I stopped using borax and I was just using washing soda. Thank you. It'll clean it up. But washing soda and borax, the reason why it does not clean up completely is because it does not have that product that make the salts, like soap, for instance. So the natural detergent that we purchase is this one, and I made a little bit line at the top because that's the amount of soap I want to use, so that it is obvious. And I put the dates as well to see how long it's going to take me to go through the whole things. And yeah, I just want to see if that will make any difference, using that it is on the pricey side, and I just want to see if that made any difference to use that other than using just the washing soda. Alternatively, you can just hand wash your clothes as well. I grew up in Togo, West Africa, where we hand wash our clothes. That's just the best things that happen to clothes, unless you are talking about towels and jeans. Everything else made out of soft fabrics. By soft fabrics, I'm just talking about regular fabrics like quilting, cotton fabric. You use hand soap, you wash them, they clean up very well. they are not hard on your hand. When you are washing bath towel or bed sheets or jean by hand, is when those things are heavy on your hand or rough on your hand. But using soap and hand wash clothes just clean up clothes the way you want them. So, but if you rub soap on the area of your shirt and you put it in the washing machine and you add washing soda to it, it will wash everything well for you, because you already rub the area that have things that you want to remove with soap. So, but yeah, let me rinse my hand. And those soap, this one that I'm showing you, we made them ourselves. We sell them at ninassoap.com, and that's what we use to wash dishes. We hand wash dishes. We do have a dishwasher, but I do not use dishwasher. Again, those things just don't clean up like if you hand wash your things yourself. And I don't want to have to fill it up with dirty dishes, take them out, and some of them are not dry and I have to wipe them. I just like to wash my dishes as I'm using them. That way I won't have sink full of dirty dishes. So if this will work, that means that's another expense to my grocery budget that I have to include. But it will last more than a month. So those are our groceries. And we have chicken nuggets. And it costs about $12. And you can buy frozen fries, and times to times with the oil you can fry chicken nuggets, and that will be another meal. So, and kids like that. So I usually use those things for holidays, but I'm thinking about having some a day of the week that I can make those fried food. Don't like to fry too much because it really dirty the kitchen with those oily steam that deposit on things around. So, but kids like it, and I think it can be one meal of the week as well. But again, if you're on tight budget, you have to keep in mind that it costs you more to buy those processed food than buying chicken, for instance. So this costs about $12. When I made it yesterday, we have leftover of this that I didn't fry everything. I just started and put it back in the freezer. But we purchased chicken, raw chicken, that I have here, and I don't really want to touch raw chicken just yet. Or maybe I'll just wash my hand when I do that. But it is 10-pound chicken for $8 something. And chicken, that's chicken quarters. So for $8, you have 10 pounds of chicken to work with that I'm going to salt, put in the oven at 350 for an hour and a half. It will be done, and then I'll put it in the fridge. So imagine showing me the pound. It's hard to hold it, but I don't know if you'll be able to see the pound, but it is 10-pound bag for $8 something. It's like time when I'm leaving meat in the sink, I like to keep it in the bag. But again, when I take it out of there, I will wash the sink. Versus this one, I don't even know how many pounds this is. It's 4 pounds for $12. And let me wash my hand here. So that's how we spend $140. The chicken and the nuggets, they came from Meat Budget. Meat Budget has $90, and I asked my husband to take $40 to work with. So he purchased those two, and he purchased egg as well. And pretty much he spent all the $40, I believe. He got two of these ones. The second one is still in the bag. They will go in the fridge crisper. So we have those three for $40. That's what it cost us for the meat. And out of that 140, we got toilet paper. So, and I like to stock up on toilet paper, and one way that I know how many this one, because I have dealt with the meat, the eggs, I'm not going to keep that bag for trash purposes. I'll just stock the one that were used to hold the meat and egg products. So one way to know how many of toilet paper you need in a year is when you open one bag, you put a date on it. When it's done, you calculate how many weeks or months it took you to go through it. Especially if you have a family, if that's just you, it'll take a while. But if you have a family, that's one way to do it. If that's just you just time how long it took you to use one piece. But for the family, you can just put a date on the bag, and when you are out of it, the bag is empty, you're about to toss the bag, you calculate how long it took you to use it all. And it can take us 2 months and a half. Therefore, I just say, okay, one for 3 months, we need 6 of this on hand. And it's not every month that I need to purchase it, because we need one every 2.5 months or something like that. So I think I did the calculation with 2 months, because it lasts 2.5 months. But I use 2 months to do the calculation on how many I need to have on hand at least, and to come in average, I come with 6, even though we use less than 6 a year. So, and then I'll just try to see if there is a month I can purchase it, and there is some month I may not purchase it. So a lot of time, because I'm working with a tight budget, a month that I purchase it, I may not purchase all. A month that I purchase all, I won't purchase it, or things like that, because they are this can cost close to $20, and this costs over $20. So I can just, and that's 1 gallon of oil. So sometimes it can be hard to put them both on 1 month grocery list. That's how I try to think about what should I purchase, what should I should not purchase that month. I first have an idea of what things cost. I know how much I want to spend. I know I don't want to spend all my budget that month, so that I can have a little bit saved up. That way, when we are getting close to holiday season, there are things that can go on sale I can purchase. Or if there is something on sale that we use, I can stock up by having a little bit saved up for that. So I have an idea what things cost, even though they are going up at the grocery store. I have, a rough idea. I have a list of things that I wanted to purchase, and and then we have a specific dollar amount we go to the grocery store with. So if we end up having things that we got, they are more than what we want to pay, we have to choose what not to purchase that month. And it does happen as well. When my husband will purchase something and won't purchase something, or for instance, for 2 blocks of teas, he might purchase one and not the other because he didn't think he can work with the money that I gave him and all the things on the list. And frankly, it's not that I need all of those things in 1 month. I'm stocking up. And to cook and all of those things are not necessarily based on things that I'm going to use this month, but it is a way to build a grocery store in my own house where I can shop from when I'm ready to cook. It's not when I'm ready to cook that I'll go to the store to make purchases, but I have a stock of food ingredients at home that I can shop from to make my cooking. Angelique, will you give me the recipe on the door there, please? So first, if you want to do something like that, it will be good to think about things you like to cook, things your family like to eat, and write them down. And sometimes it can even be depend on your schedule, because with me there are times that I don't have a lot of time to spend in the kitchen. Thank you, Angelique. Therefore, I want a list of things that it will take me within an hour. I'll be able to prep it, cook it, and serve it. So if I get out of work at 5 and I want food to be on the table by 6, I want something that I'll be able to prep, cook, and serve within an hour. So there are lists of things that I will want to do to have on hand for that. And there are times like weekend, I can spend more time in the kitchen. So Sunday, for instance, I can make sourdough bread, and I can go in the garden to harvest greens, and I can spend easily 30 minutes in the garden harvesting different type of greens, walking around, seeing what I will add more and things like that. But I won't do that during the week. Therefore, there are recipes that will take me longer to prep, but sometimes longer time to cook as well, like the bread baking in the oven, and I'll be okay with it. So I have those lists of recipes as well that usually are tasty and kids like to eat it or family like to eat it, but you just don't have a lot of time to do that on a regular basis. But maybe one day of the week you are available to do it, or during the holiday you are available to do it. So you can have a list of those as well. And sometimes you do not have time to prep. You want a list of those meals that you can prep within 10 minutes. Even if that will take hours to cook slowly in the oven, you just want something you can prep very quickly and then leave it in the oven to cook, or leave it on the stove to simmer, like a soup for instance, or whatever that will go in the oven. So it's good to have those lists of things as well. So sometimes I have things that I can very quickly, I want to come and prep quickly and then put in the oven. If that'll take 25 minutes, 30 minutes to cook, that's fine. But I don't want to spend a lot of time putting it together to put in the oven. So those are things that, for instance, if you are going to cook ahead of time, let's say you have time during the day or during the afternoon to cook it, and by the time you are ready to eat, it will be done. You want to have the list of those recipes. So now that you have the list of the recipes, you might think about what ingredients you need to cook them. And from the ingredient list, you will come up with your grocery list to shop. And it is good not to try new recipe over and over. There was a time I have done that when I like to cook. So there was a time that I was more concentrated on cooking, and I would try different dishes and ask people to eat and tell me what they think. So yeah, but at some point you wanted to have a list of things that you want to cook. If time to time you want to try a new recipe, that's fine, but you want to have the list of food that you cook, to be able to have a list of grocery list to work with. That way, when you are going to go to the grocery store to make purchases, you will think about the ingredient you don't have. If somebody is asking for a meal and you know you didn't have that ingredient on hand, yeah, well, you took note of that. So if when you are ready to do your grocery shopping, you know that that's a meal that you want to add the ingredients on your grocery list because you want to cook it for your family. So that's one way to view it as well. So there are things that I didn't add everything on it, but it just tells me that with this, there are other things that will go with it. The meat, the sauce will go with it. But to me, it just worked for me to have the carb, not the meat. Because pork, beef, chicken, really turkey based things, yeah, well, you can have them in different varieties. Like pork, you can have pork steak, pork chops, ground pork, and sausage. And then you can have beef, ground beef, I don't know, beef steak. Those can be expensive, but you get the idea. So chicken, and so I just like to put those type of things, and then I will see what kind of sauce, meal, or grains will go with them. So it just gives me an idea. And then I have some other things, and I just keep adding it to it. If I make something and they like it, I will add it to it. Like I make peas with a type of pizza sauce that I mix it with the peas, 2 pounds of peas, and then bake the bread, a store-bought bread, and serve it, and they eat it. So that's something I like to add as well, because it will be among my quick meals for the week as well. And the leftover can be poured on plain rice to use like sauce for the rice or something like that. So and the peas is a grain. So yeah, when you cook things that you think it'll fall under a category or the other, you can just put them in your list and work from there. So having your list and knowing the ingredient over time, doesn't know where I put my over time you will get to a stable, if I will call it like that, grocery templates that you'll work with. You just know that things that you buy for food are here, and my meats are not here because I just know that I buy pork, I buy chicken, I buy beef. So what goes on sale, we have the money for meat that some month we don't use because nothing is on sale, and we have meat in the freezer, so we just keep saving it every month until a meat is on sale, and if that's a good deal, we go buy a lot and put in the freezer. But again, if you are low on meat, we will pay full price. That's how we purchased that chicken that was not on sale. That's a regular price for $8, but sometimes it can go up to $5 to $10. It used to be around $5. So, but then you will find pork steak, pork chops, 99 cents a pound, and then you stock up. But nowadays they are like $1.99. That's how things went up, double. When it's on sale now, it's double the price of when it was sale before, a few years before or last year. So we stock up on those. I like those chops or steaks because they are thinner, easy to thaw, easy to cook. So I like to have those on hand for those evenings that I don't want to have to deal with 10 pounds of chicken. So yeah, you just have to know what you cook, what your schedule is, to know what type of groceries you want to have. And a lot of times, those things here are shelf stable, to the exception of the cheese that will go in the fridge, and then when I grate it, it'll go in the freezer. And sometimes I freeze my block cheese, and when I'm ready to use it, I'll put it in the fridge, and then when it thaw, it will be crumbly, easy to grate as well. But yeah, that's how we stock up to build our food supply on $300 a month for our family of 5. And everything we purchase mainly is to replenish our stock, and then cook from our stock, shop from our stock to cook, and when things are getting low, replenish them when we do our grocery shopping. And a lot of things that are purchased for that grocery staple, they don't go on sale. So I purchase them every month to build up my supply. But meat can go on sale, and we stock up on that, and they go in the freezer. So I have just freezer for those, so that when they goes on sale, I know that I have the space to put them in. And I have just freezer for the garden, that way I won't waste my garden produce. And fruit is something that we like to keep that fruit budget in its envelope. When fruit is on sale, we stock up on fruit to have fruit in the fridge as well. So, and we buy fruits on a weekly basis if on a weekly basis it's on sale. If a week is not on sale, we don't buy it, but we have fruit in the fridge we can use. And if we do not have fruit at all in the fridge, then we can buy banana at the grocery store. So that's how we stock up. And I asked for the chicken because I told my husband that we are running low in meat in our meat freezer, because I have not seen much meat on sale lately. Therefore, it will be good to buy chicken, and we might even buy one more again to put in the freezer and cook this one. But yeah, when you do not have it, you pay full price. But when it's on sale, you stock up. That way you won't have to pay full price for it. Personally, that's a choice that I like to go with. And the reason is, if for instance, for one reason or the other, we do not wish it, we don't have our job, our source of income, we know that we have food in stock for a few months. So yes, some people like to save 3 to 6 months of or 1 year of their income as emergency. I do not do that, but I have another way of doing it. The way we do it is, we know our monthly budget, and we list down every single expense that we incur during the, or we pay for during the year, that we don't necessarily pay for on a monthly basis. And I like to call them irregular expenses. We have a list of them on our budget spreadsheet as well. And after listing them down and estimating their amounts, I total them all to know how much they are for the year, because that's something that will come once a year, or once in a while, or once every few months, including gift for birthdays, holidays, gifts for family members or for the kids. We have them included. Copay, when you go to the doctor checkup, those things are added. And a contact solution that my husband used, contact lenses, yeah, pretty much vision, things that are not covered by insurance, listed. And we estimated them and see the amount. That include clothing for kids when school starts, that include school registration, and that include home maintenance. Like times to times the plumber is clogged and we need to call a plumber. That include that as well. And how do we estimate that? when you have your own house, you can just take 1% of the value of the house to estimate how much it's going to cost you in a year to maintain it. So if you pay off your house, you have the property tax you have to add. If you have a car, you live in a state that you pay for the plates. I think it has a name for it. The plate registration. So you'll add it to it. So having all those down, you total and you know how much in average you will need, and you divide it by 12. So that gives you the monthly as I don't know how it's calling it, but irregular expenses estimates. So you know how much you spend on a monthly basis. To be able to have a fixed amount for my monthly basis, there are things that I try to turn a fix. Like my husband and I, we have monthly allowances of $100 each that we can use on things like personal products, like clothing, shoes, things that are personal to us, without letting the other person know about necessarily. So $100 is taken out of the checking account toward those, and I just know that in the checking account is $100 each every month. Does that make sense? It's not like one month you spend $20 on your clothing, another month you spend $10, and then you have to go through those transactions to see what that $20 is, what this $2 is, what this 20 cents is, or anything like that. Even car gas, we took cash out as well for gas, and it's out of it, so that we know that every month is this dollar amount for gas. Anything left out of that gas money just roll over to the following month. Another gas money out, same amount will come out and add it to that one. That way, in winter time when you use more gas, in summertime when the car gas price is higher, you have some build up saving to use for it. So yeah, I try just to take cash out for some purchases like that, allowances that I told you, the grocery purchases, the car gas, the allowances, and it just make the budget look like a fixed budget. So you have your fixed budget, and every month you go through your spreadsheet to see your actual expenses for that month. So because your bill will come through, like your water bill, your electricity, your gas, if you have a rent, you have your mortgage or whatever that is, they will go through. If you have internet, cable, they will go through. So those things you don't take cash out of your checking account for it. If you pay them online, you don't need to take cash out for them. But you will go through the bill they sent to you, or you'll go through your checking account to see those bill amount and put them on your spreadsheet to see your actual for that month. So you have your budget, and then you have your actual, your monthly budget, and then you have your actual for every month. And those actual will be different, because sometimes you might spend more water, or you might spend less water, or you might spend more electricity. So those things will make your actual expenses varies. You just want to make sure that your budget, it is higher than your actual expenses. If your actual expenses constantly becomes higher than your budget, that means you didn't set a good budget for your expenses. You need to sit down with your partner and reevaluate that category that is going over, to reset your budget. You want your budget to be more than your actual expenses, but not too much more than it's not realistic. So that's how we have that budget. And every month, for your irregular expenses that you total for the year and divided by 12 to find the month, you put that amount in your saving account. You don't leave it in your checking. I don't know why I don't like to have money in the checking account that I'm not going to use that month. So that irregular expense that you have been saving for, you put it in the saving account. So it's good to have checking and saving together, where you can just move money around when it's needed, and they build up there for you. That's how I do not do emergency fund. So we save up for that, for those irregular expenses. We know it might happen during the year, or may not. A faucet may not clog, a pipe may not clog. That's great, but you might still need to pay your car registration fee, so yeah, it's good to every month put that 1/12 of that irregular expense budget in the saving account. So if you have an expense amount that is categorized as a regular expense, then you move the money you spend on that item from your saving account. So to purchasing for our children for when school starts, it came out of the saving account. Or if we have a plumber 1 month that came to help with our faucet or our drain pipe, then we have an expense there. It'll come out of the saving account because that's irregular expense from the home maintenance category. So and then and you'll put that expense in that category as well, so that by the end of the year you can sit down and evaluate your irregular expense categories budget versus the actual year total year amount, to see if you have a good budget, or if you budget less than you end up spending, if you need to increase that budget to know how much you need to save to be able to afford those expenses. So having those and saving for them every month allow you to go through it without feeling an emergency. So by doing that, the way I view it for the food is, well, instead of having emergency fund where you save 3 to 6 months of your income, well, you can build your food supply on a budget by buying things on sale instead of saving money when you do not have source of income to use that to purchase things, because the money will lose its power due to inflation. Therefore, it might be a good idea to just buy things a little by little every month if you can, to have your stock up supplies. If some of them might last you a year, some of them might just be 6 months, some of them might just be 1 month, but you know that you have some supply on hand. If your source of income is temporarily shut down, you have food to cook for yourself and your family. So that's my way of building my food supply. It's not like long-term reserve type of stocking up. Is not anything like that. It's just for 1 year, although some stuff can go more than a year and some stuff can be less than a year. Some stuff can just be for a month, but I just have different type of supplies on hand and just like to grow a little by little without disturbing our budget. So 300 every month, and I just try to save a little bit, put it on the side for things that I can stock up. And when I'm going to buy something, I like to see if I can buy extra, because after all, they are all going this in the pantry or freezer or fridge, and I'll just use from it. And what I didn't use at the end of the month, when we take money out again to do the grocery shopping, I'll purchase things again, and little by little those remaining will just allow my stock to build up. So let's go and see where we are going to put those flowers. Since I'm not going to show you all the area I'm going to put those things, but let's check the pantry. First, I like to put this. Gabriel, Jaden, can you keep your voice down? So I have those are the pesos that we have purchased in the past, and I just repurpose them for the containers. I like to have my I store honey in it before, but you know, it can, grain can go in it as well. So those can easily go there. We can take our sugar. And I think I'll just put my sugar here for now. But you can see I have the snacks that I have purchased with $20 prior for, and I have used for the kids. I still have leftovers, and we have this one as well. So pretty much I just use this box, and those are just when you go to grocery to shop, especially L.L.C, you'll be able to find some boxes that are empty that they are trying to get off the shelf, and you can take some, the sturdy one, and just to delimit space in your pantry. So that's one way to do it. And you can see that the flours that we got last month, we still have them. This is cornmeal leftover, or the one we have been using. So we do have flours, and all of those bags there are flours, the unbleached flours. So we have a lot of flours that we have not gone through. So we have ketchup there when we do fries. So I can just come here and see when I'm running low. Last month or 2 months ago, I didn't have toothpaste, and I just take $10 or $20 and ask my husband to purchase them, because I just want to, because they don't cost a lot. I don't buy a fancy ketchup, toothpaste, so I just want to have enough for the year, and I think we got enough for that. Wrapping paper is one of the things that I don't use often either. So when I noticed that I was running low, I asked my husband to get one. I like the BPA free one, so we got one. This one we are still using. Let me know when I purchase it. It could be over a year, so we have a replacement there for it. So that's pretty much how you stock up. You know, when you notice that you are running low in something, you purchase it. You are not going to purchase it every month, but you just wanted to make sure you have stock of it, and we have that. So, and ketchup is something we like to have on hand as well. On top, I like to have peanut, and I wanted to purchase some this month, but with my budget and things that I purchased, I didn't think I would have enough for that, but I think I still have some there to work with. But pretty much I like to keep them on the top shelf. And when I open flowers, you know, they can just go in those containers. We have sugar and flowers. And hold on, I'm moving this too much. With this crate, the bag inside is the one without the closure. So it was full with, this bag was full with them. I put the snack in it, put it in this instead. That way I can just take the bag and serve the snack to the kids. So this one has 2 in it. So I try to have, and the third one I have 4 different type of snacks. In fact 5, so that every day they have a different type of snack. That was the idea when I was purchasing them. But then there are 2 that I won't purchase it anymore because one of the kids didn't care for the presso at all, and 2 of them didn't care for the salted one. They don't like the salted one, but they like, the bigger kids like the sweet, the honey presso, but they don't like the salted presso. So they like the honey presso, but my younger one doesn't like the presso at all. So I just say not to buy it again. It came from Aldi and this one came from Walmart. So I try to see, okay, so can I have 5 type of snacks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then we got graham cracker and a banana wafer as well. So those are just ideas. If you are looking for ideas to have different type of snacks for the kids, they are not the best type of snack. And a lot of times I will sell them 2 snack fruits, and it could be apple you chops to put in a bag, and then you can have dry snack as well. So I just try to have different type of snacks available and try to see if I can work with $20 a month for those snacks, and then I can combine it with fruit that we might have in the fridge. So yeah, I will just come. And what is good with pantries is, if you do not have a big space for your pantries, it might be a good idea to allocate space for your items. That way when you are looking for things to see if you have enough on hand, it is easy to spot and see, yeah, if you are running low on something, you know right away that, oh no, you don't have enough on hand. You know, there are things that I usually buy you one of. I think that's where that bag, that one must be empty. And I have this one. But yeah. And we have that pantry that is a little bit small. Therefore, we have some items that we store in the basement. So we can go in the basement to put some vegetables in the basement. And to put those vegetables in the basement, I would prefer to use a bag for it. Sorry. And it will be good. I have my fruits, my peas in one bag. And I will have the corns in another bag. And I need to put this milk away. I might put the milk away first and we'll take care of the corns. So the dinner yesterday was that, how do you call it? The nugget and fries. And I asked my husband to buy another nugget. That's why we got that one, so that I can have it in stock in the freezer in case I wanted to serve that again. I have it available. So this one was frozen for at least 2-3 months. And I took it out yesterday just in case we didn't do the shopping today. I'm making pizza. I wanted to have things to shred. So I'm going to shred this one. What is that? It's like mud. I don't spend a specific like take a specific time to wipe my fridge. When my fridge is empty like this, that's the time for me to just get a rag and wipe it. So that one has been done probably yesterday when I was doing something and I noticed that, oh, it's empty. It makes it easy for me. When you see a spot empty in your fridge, you just get a rag and wipe that area, and that keeps your fridge somewhat clean. So the egg will come and go in the crisper, and we are running low in fruit, so we do not have fruit. Fruit goes at the bottom, in the bottom crispers, and I don't think we have fruit. Yeah, we have few apples, so we need to stock up on fruits. Let's go get the second milk. And when the milk is about to expire, I'll just make kefir. I'll drain this one, which I did over the week because the milk expired 2 days. And I drained the milk from the kefir to have it here and put the expired milk on the kefir, stir it, and put it back in the fridge. So when the milk is about to expire, I will just drain this one for us to drink or keep in the fridge to make. That's our dressing. Like to make salad dressing, that's pretty much our vinegar. That's that. And I just keep it in the fridge, and slowly it feeds on the milk. And when I fry, and I will reuse the oil, I just put in a jar and put in the fridge. After it cools off, I'll put in the jar and put in the fridge. I do not leave oil at room temperature. So now that we put the cold items in the fridge, let's take 3 things that will go in 3 different spots in the basement with us. You can see when you do not have a big pantry, you can just do with what you have. Okay, so let's Hey, Jaden, when you go in the basement, be careful not to roll the carpets.
Wait, what?
It is not safe to do that.
Wow, got crumb. Money. Cool, baby. Wow, what's up? And here. Go cookies. And cookies. Little cookies.
Okay, so now we are in the basement. So we have that's the freezer. That's the smallest freezer that I like to keep for vegetables. So although there are things that will find their spot here if they didn't find a spot elsewhere. We do have those corners here as well. But when we have, that is the cabbage. that are chopped and froze. That way I have it ready and available for winter use. And I just like to have them in bag like this. That way you can just go through your freezer very quickly. And a lot of time I like to double the bag. It makes it easy to keep the bag from breaking and things. So we have that. The cheese is not going to go here. We have one corn here. And we have the cheese we just got. And we have things from the garden as well in it. We like to repurpose those ice cream containers in the house. So this one is our processed food freezer. By process, that includes food that are already cooked as well. Pretty much done. Because I have some sauces here that I made myself. And they are frozen. So if some days I just want to eat those things, we have them, we can take them out and throw them. So I have those cheese that I'm going to put in the freezer. A lot of time when butter is on sale, those are great from the garden. So they are here, but usually they'll go in the vegetable section. But when butter is on sale, we like to stock up and I like to have them in here. And when we have cream cheese on sale, I like to stock up and we'll have them as well. In another video, I talk about limiting food waste, different way you can repurpose your leftover, and I talk about soup. So the ice cream container that I said we repurpose them, they are here. Those are not ice cream. They are leftover food that can be used as soup. So when you take this out and you throw it somehow, just a little bit, you just dump it in the pan and you let it simmer, and pretty much it's ready. So we have beans, we have potato, we'll have meat, and then we'll have sauce. So the only starch I like to add to it is bean and potato. Not all of them will have potato, but most of them will have beans. But leftover sauce, leftover meat, I'll just add them to it. And leftover meat juice, when I bake meat, I'll just add them to it. I like to keep an empty one in the freezer upstairs, and I'll just add things to it until it's full, and I'll bring it down and put it here. So when we buy ice cream for holidays and birthday celebration, and those are ice cream we like to buy on sale when they are available, and this is ice cream. So when it is when we buy ice cream for celebration, or they are on sale and we stock up so that we have ice cream for celebration, when we use them, I'll just wash the container and use it. This is ice cream. But I'll just use it for the, and I don't know if you'll be able to, if you are looking at it, but pretty much everything all the way down there, they are soup in those things. At some point, ice cream were there, they were on sale and we stock up. But now, I don't think we have, I think we have one ice cream on hand, but it's not in this freezer. And everything here, they are leftover food that are ready to just turn into soup because it has meat, it has sauce, a tomato base, and it has bean, and you can just simmer and serve it with some bread. And when we have some meat that I don't want to add to the soup, I will add it to a bag because that's something I chop up in small pieces. I add it to a bag. That way I can use it for stir fry. So that's one way to repurpose your food as well. Those leftover meat, I can repurpose them and make stir fries out of them. You saw the cabbage that are shredded and froze. So we can make stir fries easily to go with rice. So I have, don't know if you'll be able to read it, but it says for stir fry meat, beef, pork, chicken. I didn't write it well, but yeah. So if I don't do that, then I will add it to the container for soup. So by the time the container is full, I like to have good amount of meat in it. That way I know that when that container is dumped into the pan, it has everything to turn into soup. So now we put the cheese in this freezer, which is for processed food. Don't know why I call it like that, but it just works. If I cook food and leftover, I will freeze it like those sauces that I show you in the jar. They will go here. And when we purchase fries, it's cheaper to purchase fries and fry it yourself, in my opinion. So when we purchase fries, they go here as well. And we like to just stock up on those as well. So we have them here. And that's pretty much what this freezer is. Those type of things. When bread is on sale, it goes here as well. And having those bread on sale, when you put in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes, they warm up and you can slice it to serve it with soup, for instance, or with peas and tomato sauce, or pizza sauce that you cook with the peas. You can serve those store-bought bread you purchase on sale with it. So I like to stock up on those bread. Or when I make omelette, I could bake it and serve the kids for breakfast before school. That's one way too. I won't bake bread like sourdough bread during the week. I can do that if I want to, but with my job and my business, it's a time that I don't have available right now to do that. So, but yeah, I just like to keep things in a bag. It's easier for me to carry those, to lift those bags and see what it is in it. And sometimes we have excess bags and I will repurpose them. But I think those bags here are here for something. I don't know yet, so I will still keep it here. But sometimes I will come back and see the empty bags that I still have here, for instance those, and take them out of here so that I don't need the empty one. But a lot of times it could be because of bread. When the bread are out, those bags can be left. But those type of food stay in this freezer. So now let's take this bag will go upstairs. Let's take it along. Let's take the chicken nugget. Let's take it to the meat part. The chicken nugget could stay here as well, but I'm just going to add it to the meat freezer. And right now I'm trying to wash the kids' clothes. One, like each person, each kid I'm washing their clothes separately, because I think it's just easier like that, because I'm trying to wash their clothes once a week if that's possible, or even twice a week if sometimes I have to. But I think it's easier for them when the clothes is just for them, again, for them to be able to put it away. When I wash it together, sometimes they wonder who is here, who is what, because some of them they have the same type of shirt or pants. They have to look at the size to know whose pant or whose shirt is that. So for that reason, I decided to wash it, just one laundry for one kid. So I saw some bag for them, and I put this shelf here. I repurpose it, and they just, when they come back from school, they just fill it up with their clothes. So, and that way at the end of the week I'll do their laundry. So I washed the youngest one yesterday, but he has some dirty clothes upstairs and he didn't bring it here on time. So I did his laundry, and he has dirty clothes because we missed those. So then I'll do the second one, and then I'll do the oldest one. So when I do the laundry, I turn the bag inside out and I wash it as well. So when I dry everything, I just take the bag, put everything in it, take it upstairs and give it to the persons whose clothing are those, and ask them to put them away, or I'll put it near the container and later they'll put their clothing away. So that's something I've been trying this year to see how that will work for them. Therefore, I think that will require more laundry doing, because I'm now washing everything together twice a week, but I might be doing it once a week, but for each kid. Sometimes I might do it twice, because the oldest one, her clothing are bigger, so occupy more space. Therefore, sometimes I feel like I overcrowd the washing machine when I wash her clothes all at once. So therefore, washing it twice a week for her might be a viable solution. Let's see what we can see here. The business is taking quite a bit of space in our basement at the moment until I find a structure for it. But nevertheless, we have, don't know if I'm too close, but we have this shelf unit. That's one way I try to have a pantry to stock up my things. I should have taken the toilet paper down. So you can see those tomato purees. Well, we do have tomato purees, but I bought more. You saw the one we saw upstairs. So we still have those. And the one we saw upstairs, I'll bring them, put them down, and put those on top of it. So that's pretty much a little by little how they will build up. You saw the chili pepper. So I have 2 on stock here. And I'll just put it behind them. One thing we didn't buy this month, I don't know if it was on the list, but it's rice. So we have rice there, and I have 2 down and I have 2 up. So I trying to stock up on those rices as well. We have beans. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we have beans in the box there, and there are few bags there as well. So having these shelf units is very sturdy, and is really, that's one way to create your own pantry without spending a lot of money to remodel your house or anything like that. If you can find a space that you can put some shelving unit, and you put strong shelving unit, you can just stack it with your product. So here And that's just those from the tomato puree. I like to see if I can reuse them, but at some point some of them might just have to go in the garden to mulch. So we have salt, and you can see I have a lot of salt there, and that's the only type of salt I use in my cooking, and there could be 1 year of stock right there. And my goal is to have 6 of this toilet paper. So we have one we are using, we have one we purchased today that you saw upstairs, and we have one here. So that's 2 that we have not opened, and we have one in the bottom that is bigger size of that one. So we have that. I can just say I have 3 on hand, but I need to get 3 more to know that I have 1 year of supply. So that's another shelf unit that I repurpose to use for groceries, staple groceries. So a little bit away from that, we have our meat freezer and my camera battery, my camera might run out of battery. If it happens, well, we thank you so much for watching our videos. We thank you all that subscribe to our channel, and we thank you for your time. We thank you very much for your comment as well. So we have the meat freezer here. It's just personal preference. You don't have to, but I just like to keep raw meat from cooked food or vegetables. That's why I have a freezer just for meat. But this will go in it, and you can see that the meat freezer is now that full. And at some point we even put some bread here as well. So yeah, when a freezer is full, its content might find spot in another freezer. I do that sometimes. So you do have those bread that's the same way as the other one. I could put in the oven 350 for 10, 12, 15 minutes, and I'll be able to slice it in 3 and serve it to go with anything that I'm cooking that requires bread. That's one quick meal I can put together depending on what I'm cooking. So we have it here. But usually that's something I won't put in this freezer. And this freezer I'll have bones. I like to, when I bake meat, I like to have bones saved up, and they are in the bag there, so that I can make bone broth that goes in here as well. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but they are bone, not from raw meat, but cooked meat, baked meat. So they are bone, and they are in a bigger bag there too. Not to keep them together. But yeah, that's just, I think that's the ice cream that found its way here as well. But that's how we stock up for our groceries. We build our food supply on budget without